Tuesday morning beginner workout. I'm Dave. Today we're going to be going through Mobilize Activate or Mobilize Stretch Activate. Guys, I really like this one because you really don't even need a warm up. The warm up is built into each move. They're still going to do one. Pardon my right arm. I got my vaccine yesterday, so the shoulder's a little sore, but we're still going to start with our arm swings. Yeah, I really like how the Mobilize Stretch Activate is just a great way to start your day. The move builds up to the strength component. We don't really typically do enough mobility in our days, so I really like to add this workout in. And I will say you do need a bench for today, or bench or a chair, something sturdy that you can step on. We're just doing our side steps with that extra little bit of a lean. This chair is a little bit high for step-ups, which is fine. It just means I go a little bit slower. But if you have something, half the height of a chair, that would be ideal. Like if you had a stair, that would be ideal. I have a friend joining me today. And we're just going to interlock our fingers behind our head, pull our elbows back, and rotate from the torso. And then we can take a step forward and rotate. Yeah, there's plenty of places you can sit. Chooses to sit there. With that in mind, make sure your work area or your exercise area is relatively clear. We don't have too many big cardio moves, but I don't need you tripping on anything. And we're just going to go into group one. So we have our chair triangles. With this one, halfway through we'll switch sides. I'm going to go right leg forward, right hand on the chair, left hand on the inside of my left knee. And we're just going to turn and open. Turn and open. We're going to work on our thoracic rotation mobility. And then we're going to see that in the step-ups when we're crossing arms using our obliques. Then we have our half kneel hip flexor. So we're going to go down onto one knee. Show you this side. Looks like that's a little bit better. I push my hips forward. You can see I lean into that, push my hips forward, make sure my spine's nice and tall. My left leg is down, so my left arm comes up. Halfway through, we'll switch sides. And then we have our step up, where we really want to make sure that we're using opposite arm, opposite leg. So as I step up, step down, and then switch. All right, 30 seconds each group. 10 seconds break just for transition time. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Again, I'm just rotating up. If you have difficulties in the shoulder area, difficulties rotating, you can always just go ear or hand to ear and rotate up from the elbow. We're switching sides. All right, and then we'll take our time to get on the ground into our half kneel hip flexor position. Push my hips forward, my left leg's down, so my left arm comes up. And just nice and tall and spine, feeling that stretch all throughout. My body all the way down to my knee almost. And we'll switch sides. All right, well done. And then we go into our step-ups on the 20 to the 50. All right, really try to work on getting that opposite arm, opposite leg going. And keep the chest lifted the whole time. Nice and tall. If you wanted to make this more of a cardio exercise, you certainly could by going a little bit quicker. Oh, I just hit the same side there. That's okay. Oh, we're done. We're going to those chair triangles. If you want, you could switch it up a little bit, and we can do reverse. So now my left hand is on the outside of my left knee, and I'm reversing the triangle. Switch sides. I find the reverse is a little bit more challenging. We're done there. Enough time to get down on the ground. Half kneel hip flexor stretch. Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like from the front. My right side's not the best to show because the arm is not going up as high as it normally does, but we'll switch sides. I'm just lost on that door with my pale skin. All right. And we're up into the step-ups. And I could certainly go a little bit quicker on these. If you want, you could be holding weights maybe instead. But you can probably feel those muscles that you just stretched in that half kneel hip flexor working right now. The obliques you won't feel as much as they're a little bit more stabilizing muscles. But I wanted to sort of mix up how we look through that one. All right, and then we're on last round for group 1. And we're just going with those chair triangles. I really like this stretch because you don't even need a chair for it. You can do this anywhere. You could do this for your golf game, for your tennis game. Switch sides. You can do it throughout your day because you've been sitting at a desk, you've been sitting in a vehicle, you haven't got too much rotation. Perfect. Half kneel hip flexor stretch. If you don't like kneeling on this one, you can always elevate your back leg on like a couch or something. Put a couch cushion under your knee. Switch sides. And that will greatly reduce the amount of stress on your knees. The alternate to this is, you do your standing quad stretch. That one, that's the classic one for stretching the quads. Less so the hip flexor though. All right. Keep that chest lifted. We're working through, we're pumping our arms. The arms are what assist in momentum transfer. They assist in balance. Don't think about them, just use them. Just like you're walking, almost done. And time. Okay, that's group 1. Group 2, we're going to have our swimmers. So I'm going to hinge from the hips. And then I'm going to swim forward. Halfway through, if you want, you can swim backwards. We have our door frame stretch. I'm just going to grab a door frame or a wall. Rotate to the top, feel that chest and shoulders. Halfway through, we switch sides. And then our incline push-up. I'm going to use this couch because it'll be a little easier for me today. Nice straight line from shoulder to ankle, all the way down, all the way up. And as always, you can be doing a modified push-up from your knees. You can be doing a full push-up. Whatever suits you best. But we're going again in 3, 2, and 1. Hinging from the hips. I'm swimming forward. Try to keep that chest up, nice straight line. It's a nice time to practice your hinge because it's unloaded. So maybe you're hinging while you're doing that, and now I'm going backwards. But you certainly don't need to practice your hinge. You could just be in a static hinge right now and maybe practicing that hold on the static hinge. All right. The door frame stretch. Just stretch out those chest and shoulders. Switch on the 53, 54. Switch. And you could always be doing the handcuff stretch as well if you don't have a door frame easily accessible. Okay, and then our incline push-up from 20 to 30. Nice straight line. Whole body moves as one unit. As far down as you can and as far up as you can. I usually say all the way down, all the way up, but let's do it to the best of your ability. Best of my ability is all the way down, all the way up. That might not be the best of your ability. So, if you're only going down halfway, that's okay. Just continue doing your best. All right, and then our swimmer is on the 2-minute mark. I remember when I first started exercising, my push-ups were absolutely miserable. And I didn't do them at all because I was scared that people would judge me. But I started working on them with the inclines. I did some modified push-ups, subsides. All right, and we'll go to our door frame. Eventually, I, moved to the full push-ups, full range of motion. Very confident in my push-ups now. Switch sides. Well, we all start somewhere with our exercise. Maybe you're starting with this workout. It's a great place to start, really. If you don't have mobility in your muscles, it's very difficult to use them. All right, incline push-up. I'll show a modified push-up for this round, just in case people want to see that. So I'm going to go from toes and ankles. I find that a little bit easier for some people. But the same principle applies. I still try to lower my body as one unit. Nice straight line. I might still try to move through my full range of motion. If you find, we're going here, so if you find even like the incline push-ups difficult, try moving to a wall push-up. That's a good place to start because, your subsides, switch directions. Your range of motion is limited by the wall and by your face not being able to go through the wall. Those are a really good place to start. The door frame, start on the 40. If I had a good wall to show you, I'd show you that one next, but I really don't with how the camera's set up. And you can probably feel, I haven't really talked about it, but the swimmers and the door frame switch sides are stretching the chest and the shoulders, and you can feel that within the push-ups, I'm sure. The only main muscle group we're missing through these two stretches is the triceps, but that's okay. We can hit those another time. I'll go back to the incline on the 20 to the 50. Again, just to the best of your ability, and that means pace too, right? You might be going a little faster than me. You might be going slower than me. But everyone's pace needs to look the same on this one. Some workouts I'll demand that you keep the same pace as me, just because that's the focus. The focus of this workout is just to keep moving. All right, we're halfway through. I'm just going to keep moving along because we're running a little short on time. So we have our forward fold. So we're just going to, these should be mixed up. So floor sweeps is first. So front leg goes straight, toe pointed up, sweep the ground, switch sides, sweep the ground. Forward fold, we're just going to hang out down here. And then our single leg deadlift, you can use a chair. Essentially, we're kicking the leg back, trying to keep that planted leg mostly straight. All right, so we'll start with our floor sweeps in 3, 2, and 1. Nice big, you can get the shoulders involved. There's big movements here. Feel it in your calves and hamstrings. All right, and then we'll go to our forward fold. Anytime you need to stand up on this one, you can go ahead and stand up. You can even make it a Mobilize where you're standing up every time. Let's try to feel that stretch in the hamstrings. Maybe you sink a little bit lower on each breath. Maybe one breath you want to stand up, you can go ahead and do that. That's okay. All right. Single leg deadlift. We'll stick with the one side, and then we'll switch at the 35 mark. And again, the chair is only there to assist balance. It's not there to hold you up. All right, we'll switch sides. Use the chair a lot on that one, and that's okay if it's only once in a while. You can see I only tried using a finger or so. All right, and we're going floor sweeps. Round 2. Nice big sweep at the top. You might as well get your full body involved, right? This isn't too demanding of a workout, so we might as well make some big movements, incorporate your whole body. Okay, and then we have our forward fold from the 40 to 310. And push back. And if you wanted to make this one a dynamic again, you could. What I like to do is I like to go from that forward fold to arms overhead, hips to the right, lead to the left, hips to the left, lead to the right, and then you can switch which fingers you're pulling back on. I'm gonna hold the forward fold, but just an option for you. Nice thing about fitness is there's many corners to the room, and you could easily design your own workout with a lot of the things that you've learned from us, a lot of things that you've picked up elsewhere, and most of them aren't wrong, you know, as long as you don't have a big risk of injuring you, then they're probably pretty good. Whatever gets you moving, whatever makes you happy. Besides, what I've always said is the best workout is the one you do, right? People, I get that question now and again, not so much anymore, is, you know, what's the best way to exercise? And the best way to exercise is the exercise that you keep doing. All right, and we have our round 3 floor sweeps. Maybe you're just starting out, maybe memorizing a few of these stretches that you really liked. Maybe you're going for a walk and you're adding in these stretches every, 400 meters or so. That could be a pretty good workout. All right, and then forward fold. So you probably noticed within the forward fold and the floor sweeps, we're using a lot of our, we're stretching our hamstrings and our calves. Maybe you might feel it in your back as well, and that's good because with our deadlift, we use all of those muscles. We use the entire posterior chain. Take a break to stand up. And you can feel that when you stand up too, right? You can feel all those muscles activating. When we stand up this time, I want you to focus on slowly sliding your hands up and pushing the hips, right? It's all in the hips, as Chubbs Peterson would say. And you can feel that in the deadlift as well. Again, with range of motion for the deadlift, you don't need to be picking something up off the ground. This isn't a golfer's deadlift. This is a single leg deadlift. So you're just going through your range of motion. Switch sides. What I was doing. We'll go for this. And if you have hand weights or anything, you can always add those in. So that's group 3. So we move on to the final group. Group 4, which is mostly core. We have child's pose to Cobra. Child's pose to Cobra. And we'll just move through that on our breaths. Our T-spine rotation. We're on the ground. I'm going to take my left leg, cross it over my right, just to bring my left ankle to the ground, and then my right hand can go on my knee. It could stay in this T. I prefer it in the T. And then I'm going to look towards my left shoulder. Halfway through, we'll switch sides. And our plank T rotations, you can do these from incline, you can do them from the ground. You can even do them from a modified plank position. But we're just going from high plank, rotating up. That's the hardest move of the workout. We saved it for last. We're going in 3, 2, and 1. So I push my hips back into my heels, stretch forward with that child's pose, hands under my shoulders, drop the knees, and sink the hips to the ground for the Cobra. Chest stays lifted, and then push the hips back, and we're just alternating through those two. And I'll probably finish with the Cobra here. This is the one I have the most challenge with, so I'm not going to avoid it. Then I'm on my back. Cross my left leg over, just looking over towards my left shoulder. Arms are shoulder height stretched out. And we'll switch sides. Enough time to do so. I'm gonna, normally I would look towards my right shoulder, but just so I can see the clock, I'm looking over my left. All right. Then high plank position. Feet might need to be a little wider. And we turn and we open up. As much as we can, right? Maybe you're just going to here, that's okay. Maybe you're going all the way. I'll show you the different modified versions on rounds 2 and 3. Perfect. You probably feel all the muscles that we were mobilizing and stretching. All right, so I like to start with child's pose. And then go into Cobra, but you can certainly start to Cobra, you know. Chest lifted, try to sink those hips into the ground. All right, supine T's. Sides. This time I am holding that knee down. That creates a little extra rotation. Okay. So like I said, you could be doing this from an incline as well. I just have that high plank position. This could be a park bench. This could be a wall on your home. A little harder with the wall. The couch, this could be a chair. Just a nice straight line, and I'm taking my time alternating that rotation. All right. Last round of the workout. Push our hips back, crawl our hands forward. And into the Cobra. I find Cobra a lot more difficult, but I find child's pose a little bit more enjoyable. And maybe that's why. And then just a quick child right into the Cobra to finish. All right. If you have difficulty with this one, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning, is you can use a pillow or something to, you know, even an exercise ball to rest your foot on the other side. Right? You don't need to have, you know, it can even be a blanket so that your leg's a little bit higher if you have a difficult time crossing over. Switch sides. You know, it could be a little comfortable. You don't have to be uncomfortable when you're doing these stretches. You really shouldn't, right? 6 out of 10 is what you want on that stretch scale. All right, and then lastly, I'll show you the modified version of that plank rotation. So I'm just going for my knees, right? I still have that nice straight line. And I actually find these pretty challenging. The amount that your lower core needs to do in order to hold and rotate in this position is actually quite demanding. So don't sleep on this one as a potential modification. But that's all the time that we have for today. Like I said, I like these workouts because, you know, the cool down and the warm up are sort of built in. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be on the schedule later today for our movement for mood, which is another sort of beginner level class that anyone can do at any time in any sorts of clothes. It's just a great class to do whenever. I'm back on the schedule again on Thursday for, actually Wednesday and Thursday for more circuit and hit type classes. So I hope to see you then, and I hope you have a wonderful day.